Hello everyone, I am Walt, and today on our walk and talk here, we will be talking about the myth of hard work, big change kind of stuff, So really, the myth of hard work, big change, and doubt, I would say all scrolled into one little session here. Now, of course, we're going to shoot some more videos on this one in the future, but I just wanted to shoot this one for you guys right now because I think it's an important topic to really be thinking about, just overall, like these three things put together. Now, so I would say, I don't want to blame anyone here, and I don't really think it's anyone's fault, so there's no need for it. And besides, even if there was, blame wouldn't help anybody, it would only make things worse. But I would say that our society here really goes to an idea of hard work. You need to work hard kind of thing, like all the time. You need to always be working hard. That you need to do things perfectly. So if you need to constantly be assessing, am I doing this perfectly or not? You need to be using doubt, to say, am I doing it perfectly or not? And doubt's supposed to say, hey, you're doing it wrong when we're doing it wrong. So we correct ourselves. So we're working hard. We're constantly making sure we're doing things perfectly, kind of component. And we do these things to make big change. So the idea is small change doesn't matter. Sure, you make some extra 25 cents in passive income. That's nothing. A quarter, what are you going to buy with that, huh? If it's less than $1 million, don't care kind of idea society. And I feel like that's just overall how these things go. People if you're going to do something that's not just getting a job and not just, going to work kind of thing, they're like, oh, where's your millions of dollars already kind of idea. And they don't understand the process of slow change. And that's nothing against jobs. There's nothing wrong with working, for somebody as an employee kind of thing, doing the things in that direction. But of course, if you want to get to a level of financial freedom, it's rarely a case where you're going to do that before the age of 65 doing that if you're doing the conventional thing. But I'll shoot some more videos on that one later. Let's just kind of dive into, okay, how do these things not work? Why does hard work not end up working out? How come doubt doesn't help us here? And how come big change also doesn't help? See, the thing is, all three things here basically are wrong. Okay, the thing is, small change is better than big change, just in terms of how well it ends up working, how well it ends up sticking. And so that's a pretty big one, small change over big change. If you look to hard work, easy work is actually way better than hard work, and you can actually get more done if you're willing to do things with easy work instead of hard work there. And of course, doubt, instead of doubt, have belief, okay? Have things that are about accepting how things are going. Beautiful to see the blooms here, too. It's got such a delicious smell too. Okay, man, you gotta take, time in life to smell the flowers here, smell the magnolia in this case. Anyway, you gotta love how abundant the universe is. Hey, chickens. Okay, let's get back to it. So, hard work, big change, and of course, the problem of doubt. So, here's the problem with hard work. If you think about doing something really hard, you don't want to do it, okay? Now, it sounds a little glamorous, like, oh, look at me, I'm this big guy, look, I'm going to do some hard work, huh? So it sounds glamorous, and you want to brag all your friends, oh, yeah, man, I work so hard, I'm so powerful and strong, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, people kind of have this cultural idea of what it is to work hard. Oh, I do the 16-hour day thing, I do this, and I do that. And it's kind of just, if you think about it, it's really stupid, okay? Because if you're working hard, what it tells people is you don't know how to work smart. We all want to have free time, we all want to take time off, but we've kind of gotten this myth of laziness in our culture, which I'll link you guys up with the video for laziness, because that one's a good one, about why laziness isn't real, and also my version of why it's a good thing, if you think about it. But anyway, back to this main topic here. Okay, hard work doesn't actually work, okay? You don't actually get anything done here if you think, oh, this is going to be hard, because what you're telling your mind is this is going to be hard. This is going to be something that's difficult that I don't want to do, And if you think about things like that, then your mind's going to try to slow you down. It's going to try to make you procrastinate, distract you, do all these kind of things to you. So if you think about doing something that's hard, it's fast, it's difficult, then that's really what's going to get you, okay? See, you need the mind to be based on reward and not based on punishment. So we may want great change in our life, but we can't just force it into reality because our mind basically needs to stop for little reward snack breaks, okay? And instead what we're saying is, okay, just go 20 days without eating here, you can do it, mind. And the mind's like starving like 3 seconds into it, like, oh no, I have no food. Let me illustrate that one a little better, because I think that's one that needs a little illustration. So if you're going to do some hard work, right, let's say that I want to finish up some projects for school or something, some college papers. So let's say that I have 5 college papers due, basically, because that's pretty standard, not that difficult. Paper writing's pretty easy, but let's say I have 5 of them, and I sit down one evening, and it's like, 6 o'clock p.m. there, and I'm all like, hey, I'm going to do these 5 papers right now. And so then I get started, and I'm doing these 5 papers. What if by the end of the evening I get done with 2 of them? So if you think 2 out of 5, not bad, assuming they're like not due the next day kind of thing, assuming you have like a week to do them here, and you were to finish 2 out of 5 of them, that's good. But you see, in the mind, it's not good because you're framing it as hard work here of doing all 5. And so then your mind basically slaps you upside the head saying, hey, that's not all of them. You only did 2 out of 5. You fail 40% kind of thing. And really, that's what happens when we try to do hard work. Next time when you sit down to do your papers, you may not finish even one of them because you have felt punished by your own mind, because you set yourself up with a task that was too big. This is also the problem with big change. While having a desire to complete all 5 papers and imagining yourself doing it in one session, that is a nice picture. But it doesn't actually mean that you have to do that, okay? It's a lot better if you take the image of saying, I'm going to do all 5 papers, seeing yourself doing all the 5 papers right there, and then you just say, okay, I'm going to start with 10 minutes of work here, 20 minutes of work, or 1 hour of work, whatever seems small, okay? So whatever amount of work you think is perfect, cut that down by 10, okay? It's not always by 10, but depending on your standard of perfection, sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 10,000, sometimes it's just 2. Anyway, perfect is always way beyond what can be done or what is reasonable or what you should ask of yourself. So when you think I need to do this, just decide to cut it down by a number of, folds there. I would say 10 is probably a good number. So if you think, okay, I got to finish these 5 papers all tonight, assuming they're not due the next day here, then it's like, okay, fine, I'll do half a paper right now. And so you may write that half a paper pretty quickly. And once you do that, you may be like, okay, I'm on a roll here, because you thought you were only going to complete half a paper, and now you're completing 2 papers. And that's kind of how this can happen. See, it's because you feel rewarded along the way, because it's easy to do more than the goal you set. Now, you don't want to set goals in the long run that are too small. You need to set goals that are big, okay? That are things that you really desire, because those are the kinds of goals that will motivate you. Do not cut down your big goals, okay? But when you're taking action, particularly when you're beginning on an endeavor, it is very important to do small steps. Be it like starting some new projects or a new business, or starting this, starting that, starting a new assignment, starting working out. Whatever it is, it's important that you begin with small steps here, because if you take giant leaps, it's pretty easy to injure your legs kind of thing. So the mind really reacts negatively to having basically giant failures. So if you take giant risks, you're likely to get giant failures here. So it's important to take these small steps at first to build up your confidence and to feel rewarded for taking those steps. So when you start on the papers, if you just do a few sentences here, you finish half a paper, then it feels good because you set the goal of half a paper. And you're like, hey, look, I did it. I must be a very capable person. And then the subconscious mind's like, say what now? You said you were capable? Okay, here's some more capability for you. And really, that's a lot of how this works, hilariously. So it's important when you start on things to really set those goals for action to be a little smaller than your ambitions are going to end up being, okay? Because you don't want to get this whole big change mentality. You want to celebrate the small change, because if you do not celebrate the small change, you will not have big change. Okay, so we covered hard work and big change as being problems. You want easy work, so things that are smaller here, and you want to have small change over big change. The reason is because the smaller your beginning change can be, the bigger your ending change will be, because you're building it up, okay? If you try to rush things, it's like trying to rush building, say, a house. If you just like hastily lay the foundation and don't do a very good job, later everything can just fall apart, and it's not going to stand up well, much less sell at the market very well. But if you start slowly, you lay it one brick at a time here, you get your foundation nice and well set, and you pace yourself about it, then things are going to work better. This is assuming you're not like super great at building houses. I mean, if you've built 1,000 houses here, then you can go ahead and do the big change, because to you it's no longer seeming like big change, okay? So that's really the important thing, is to stay in that level, but you do want to push yourself. I'm not saying stay in your comfort zone or anything, stay in fear. No, stay in desire, go after what you want, but when it comes to action, trim it down to size, because normally we tend to think that we can do more than we actually can in a day, but then this is much less than we can actually do in 5 years kind of number. So I didn't really quote that one right, but basically we kind of think we can do more in a day than we can actually do, but we think we can do less than we can actually do in 5 years kind of number. So people are really over-ambitious in the short term and under-ambitious in the long term. So a little stability there and balance is always a good idea. But regardless, I mean, this is really the idea. Now, finally, to touch up on doubt a little bit, I know this video is pretty long considering what I normally go for like 3 or 4 minute videos, and now we're at 12 minutes kind of number, but yes, this is important here. So, doubt is not your friend. Doubt will not help you, because doubt is here to stop you. Whenever you do something that is not perfect, doubt's like, no, stop, you're not perfect. And so doubt is just going to show up whenever you do this. Stop, not perfect enough. Here's a whip. Like, I'm going to whip you. Bam, bam, bam. And this is what's happening all the time. We're doubting our own abilities. And so then we stop doing it. We feel bad about it. And then doubt's like, how come you didn't finish it? Yeah, because I got stopped and whipped in the middle of it. We will never do anything exactly perfect. So it's important to accept that you will do things differently than how you think you should, okay? It's important to know that you will make mistakes, and that making mistakes is fine. You don't need to be punished for making mistakes, okay? We all will make mistakes. You will make plenty of mistakes in your life. It's okay. This is also why anything that's worth doing is worth doing badly. And the reason for that statement is because our societies push an idea that everything should be done perfectly. So we're constantly overextending ourselves, constantly saying we need to do more than we can actually do, leading to a continual state of disappointment and dissatisfaction. Instead, we need to recreate some satisfaction and some approval here. So we need to approve ourselves and have belief in our abilities and what we're doing. So the way we go about doing that is not very difficult. All we need to do is to go to when we normally have doubt and to chop down what we are doing so that we can accomplish quite a bit. If you want to do all the dishes, start by doing one dish, okay? If you do one dish, you feel pretty rewarded by it, versus if you try to get all the dishes, you feel like it's way too much. This is also the 2 things principle I've talked about for combating perfectionism. On your day, don't think about everything you need to do. Just think about 2 things that you need to do in the next half hour to hour at most, okay? You don't want to overextend beyond that for 2 things either. You just want to go about doing that. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, don't do hard work, do easy work, or rather, more importantly, smart work. When it comes to big change, don't fall for needing big change. Go for small change here, okay? Because ultimately, that's what it will lead to in the end. It seems a little counterintuitive, but that's how it works here. And then, of course, when it comes to doubt, don't go with doubt. Instead, go with belief in your abilities, okay? Earned or unearned, you need to be able to believe in yourself in order to have your subconscious mind really help you out in the process, and that is such a key component. Anywho, that's about it for this video. So yeah, Always great if you guys would share these with some other people, like, subscribe, anything like that can help out this channel. Comments are always appreciated to talk about this stuff. Yeah, so also, of course, I have links to my books on Amazon in the description, hopefully in the comments as well, about, some of the books I have written on self-help. They're also very cheap a majority of the time. They're only like 99 cents, and there's some good material that are definitely worth that amount of money. Anyway, beyond that, of course, I have a lot of good self-help books that I also listed, some of my favorites by other authors that I highly recommend. Buying any of these products will support this channel and production of this kind of stuff, because, you know, it's important to have both money and passion here, so always got to go for both, right? Anyway, thank you guys for supporting this stuff. If you want to buy anything, go ahead and do that. If you do not, it's fine, you know, because what it's most about here is helping out people, spreading this message around the world, and leading to a more enlightened life for all of us. Happier, more abundant, more enlightened. Anyway, I am Walt, and I will see you guys next time with the next video. Stay tuned. I'll see you then.